The Martin Lindstrom Video Report. New and innovative ways of building brands.
Can you imagine an environmentally friendly sandwich from Subway? It sounds like a bad joke. This week I'm in Tokyo in Japan, and this is the week where the Designers Tokyo Week is running. It is the place where design, technology and the environment is coming together, basically to show or feature what the future is going to be about, where brands suddenly can't live without being supportive of the environment. Now, what does this mean for various brands? Well, exactly at this exhibition you will also see how Subway is creating a Subway of the future. Basically what they're featuring is a technology where they're supporting the environment at the same time as they're growing the vegetables. In some cases they even have a display in the actual Subway store where they're showing how this entire process means that when you buy a Subway of the future, it's actually not destroying the environment, it's supporting it instead. It is another way for these guys to create a point of differentiation, and the chances are that we will probably see this in the stores out there in the real world in a couple of years from now on. But why should brands do this, and what should they do in order to create a lead in this field? I think there's 3 points. Point number 1, if you want to support the environment, you need to do it in a dramatic way. Those days where you can plant green grass on the roof of your headquarters is no longer enough. You need to do it dramatically, and that's exactly what Subway is trying to do now at this particular exhibition, where they're saying, hey, we want to change the entire way we're growing vegetables, and we're going to show that in each of our retail restaurants across Japan. Point number 2 is important too. I think there needs to be a synergy here, and the synergy means that when you buy a product, you actually should create a story around it which is so supportive of the environment that it makes sense for the consumer not just to buy the product but to support the environment at the same time. It's not just like people are desperately trying to support the environment, but it's not waved into your product or service. It needs to come together. And that's exactly what you're seeing here, where Panasonic and other brands actually are coming up with pretty convincing stories about how they support the environment at the same time as you're buying their brands. The last point is important too, because there's no doubt about that when you are creating those stories and when you are creating the environment, consumers should also be able to buy into it, and they don't want to buy into it if it's too expensive. All the things we've seen at this exhibition are showing one thing, or they all have one thing in common: they're not more expensive than the stuff you buy out in the real world. That means you as a consumer are not suffering with paying extra money to support the environment. Basically it's built into the price, and basically you don't pay more than if you buy an ordinary product not supporting the environment. Every study today shows that consumers are simply not prepared to pay extra to support the environment. Yet, if they get the chance to support something which are supporting the environment, in contrast to buy a brand which are not, they will always choose the first option. And that is a challenge, but also it is an opportunity for every brand out there which probably in the future will be forced to support the environment rather than just trying to skip that theme altogether. I hope you enjoyed my video blog here from Tokyo. Once again, I'll jump on the plane, but see you again next week, where I'm going to explore new and innovative ways of building brands.
The Martin Lindstrom Video Report. New and innovative ways of building brands.